We live in a world saturated with words, opinions, pronouncements, endless debates about right and wrong. Goodness isn't a topic for discussion, it's a way of being. It's about embodying virtue in every choice we make. True goodness is less about talking and more about doing. Let's shift our focus to the quiet power of simply living it. Integrity. It's a word we often hear but rarely pause to fully grasp. It's not about perfection, but about wholeness. It's about aligning our actions with our values, about living in accordance with our deepest sense of right and wrong. It's about showing up authentically, even when it's hard, even when it's uncomfortable, even when no one is keeping score. Imagine a person who speaks passionately about fairness and justice, yet turns a blind eye to inequality within their own sphere of influence. Or someone who advocates for honesty and transparency while engaging in deceit in their personal relationships. Their words, no matter how eloquent, ring hollow because they lack the backing of congruent action. True integrity is built not on grand gestures but on the foundation of daily choices. It's about speaking up for what's right, even when our voice shakes. It's about treating every human being with dignity and respect, regardless of their background or beliefs. It's about being honest in our dealings, even when it costs us something. Integrity is a practice, a lifelong commitment to aligning our actions with our values. It's about bridging the gap between who we say we are and who we truly are in the quiet moments, when no one is watching but ourselves. It's in those moments, in the quiet choices we make, that our true character is revealed. We often overestimate the importance of grand gestures and underestimate the profound impact of simply living a good life. The truth is, our lives are the most powerful message we will ever send. The way we treat others, the choices we make, the way we navigate the world, these speak volumes about our character and values. Think about the people who have had the most significant impact on your life. Were they famous or powerful? Or were they ordinary individuals who lived with intention, compassion, and integrity? The people who leave an enduring mark on our hearts are often those who embody goodness in the everyday moments, radiating kindness, empathy, and love through their actions. Our lives are interconnected in ways we may never fully comprehend. Every act of kindness, every word of encouragement, every choice to stand up for what's right, however small it may seem, has the power to create ripples of positive change that extend far beyond ourselves. We don't need to wait for opportunities to be extraordinary. Goodness is found in the ordinary, in the everyday moments where we have the chance to make a difference. A kind word to a stranger, a helping hand to a neighbor, a commitment to treating everyone with dignity and respect. We are surrounded by everyday heroes, ordinary individuals who quietly go about their lives, making the world a better place through their actions. They may not have fame or fortune, but their stories remind us that true goodness is within reach for all of us. Consider the story of a young woman who volunteers at a local soup kitchen every week. She doesn't do it for recognition or praise, but out of a deep-seated belief in the inherent dignity of every human being. Or the single father who works tirelessly to provide for his children, instilling in them the values of hard work, perseverance, and compassion. These stories may not make headlines, but they are the backbone of a just and compassionate society. They remind us that goodness is not reserved for the extraordinary few, but is accessible to all of us, regardless of our circumstances. We each have the power to be everyday heroes in our own right. It starts with paying attention, with noticing the needs of those around us and finding small, meaningful ways to make a difference. It's about showing up with kindness and compassion, offering a helping hand, a listening ear, or a shoulder to cry on. Justice begins at home. Building a better world, one act at a time. The pursuit of social justice can feel overwhelming, a distant goal that seems impossible to achieve. But the truth is, building a more just and equitable world starts with our own actions, within our own spheres of influence. It begins with examining our own biases, challenging systems of oppression, and using our voices to advocate for those who are marginalized and silenced. It's about recognizing that our actions have consequences, and that even seemingly small choices can perpetuate harm, or contribute to a more just and equitable world. It's about challenging discriminatory jokes, speaking out against prejudice, and being mindful of the language we use. Justice isn't a passive concept, it requires active participation. It's about using our privilege to amplify the voices of the marginalized, to challenge systems of oppression, and to create a world where everyone has the opportunity to thrive. Let's not underestimate the power of our individual actions. By choosing kindness over indifference, empathy over judgment, and courage over comfort, we contribute to a more just and compassionate world, one act of goodness at a time. Freedom's responsibility, using our voices for good. We are fortunate to live in a world where freedom of speech is a fundamental right. But with this freedom comes a profound responsibility. The responsibility to use our voices for good, to speak up for what's right, to challenge injustice, and to advocate for those who are silenced. Our words have power. They can be used to build others up or tear them down, to spread love or to incite hate. It's easy to remain silent, to convince ourselves that our words don't matter. But silence in the face of injustice is complicity. We have a moral obligation to use our voices to speak truth to power, to challenge oppressive systems, and to advocate for a more just and equitable world. It's about using our freedom of speech to amplify the voices of the marginalized, to shed light on injustice, and to inspire others to action. This doesn't mean being perfect or having all the answers. It's about speaking up even when our voices shake, even when we're afraid. It's about using our freedom of speech not as a weapon but as a tool for positive change. The ripple effect of kindness. Small actions, big impact. Never underestimate the power of small acts of kindness. A smile, a kind word, a helping hand, these seemingly insignificant gestures have the power to brighten someone's day, to restore their faith in humanity, and to create a ripple effect of positivity that extends far beyond the initial act. We live in a world that often feels dominated by negativity, where it's easy to get caught up in the hustle and bustle of daily life and forget the importance of human connection. But even the smallest act of kindness can have a profound impact, reminding us that we are not alone, that there is still good in the world, and that we each have the power to make a difference. Think about a time when someone went out of their way to show you kindness. How did it make you feel? Did it inspire you to pay it forward? Kindness is contagious. When we experience it, we're more likely to extend it to others, creating a ripple effect that can transform communities and, ultimately, the world. Let's make a conscious effort to sprinkle kindness into the world like confetti. Hold the door open for a stranger, offer a genuine compliment, donate to a cause you believe in. These small acts of kindness may seem insignificant in the grand scheme of things, but they have the power to create a more compassionate and connected world. Be the change, a call to authentic goodness. The world doesn't need more talk about goodness. It doesn't need more perfectly curated online personas or eloquent speeches about virtue. What the world desperately needs is for each of us to step into the arena of our lives and strive to be the change we wish to see. This isn't about achieving some unattainable standard of perfection. It's about embracing our shared humanity, acknowledging our imperfections, and committing to showing up in the world with authenticity, courage, and compassion. It's about bridging the gap between our words and our actions, aligning our behavior with our values, and striving to live in a way that reflects the world we want to create. It's about choosing love over hate, kindness over judgment, and empathy over indifference. Be the change. Be the person who extends a hand to those in need, who speaks up against injustice, who chooses kindness in the face of adversity. Be the quiet force of goodness in a world that often feels starved for it. The path to a more just, compassionate, and loving world begins with each of us. It starts with a choice, a commitment to living our values, to being the change we wish to see. Let's choose goodness, not just in word but in deed. Let's be the change.